Welcome everybody. Welcome to AMES Facebook Live. This is Mark Wilson. I'm joined by National Key Account Manager Chris Metcalf with Flex Tools, and we're going to be doing a demonstration of the product. Chris is going to tell you all about it. We'll also be doing some maintenance. So Chris, I'm going to just hand it over to you, and I'll kind of chime in if I can at times, ask questions, but it's your show.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited to be here at your guys' corporate office. This is a nice training center. I mean, this is just a great place, and if you ever get a chance, if they have a training seminar here, it's good to come in here because you got like these hotel setups in here, you know, where they're small rooms, but you know, you've got all the different corners, you've got all the different surfaces to work on and things like that. I love these types of training centers. But what we're here to really talk about today is our Flex drywall sander. You know, a lot of you have probably seen the sander start showing up at the AMES stores around the country and things like that. And it's just an exciting product that's been around for a long time. You know, I kind of wanted to go over a little bit of the history of Flex. I don't know if you know this, Mark, but we're coming up on our 100th birthday.
Wow, 100 years.
1922. We still manufacture this drywall sander on our original factory floor in Steinheim, Germany. All of our employees in Germany always wear the shirt that says "Made in Germany." They're proud of the product. There's probably some of them maybe watching right now on Facebook over in Germany. But the bottom line, this is a high quality sander that we've developed over the years, and really it's a proven product out in the market. It's not something that's brand new to the market or anything like that. It is something that's proven. We've been making drywall sanders for around 25 plus years, actually. A lot of people don't know that.
I didn't know that. I didn't know. 25 years. 25
plus years. Flex was a part of Porter Cable when the initial development was. Porter Cable owned Flex for a short period of time. They owned our world company, and then, you know, through change that they've had and change in things, they sold our company off, and but we redeveloped that drywall sander into what it is today, which is the GE5 unit.
It's a giraffe.
The giraffe.
Giraffe, yeah.
Yeah, we own that trademark. You know.
Keep talking. We got a little technical thing. Looks like we're getting. Oh no! Don't do that.
We're good.
Yeah, we don't want to. So some people want to join on the camera, but so somebody had asked to join. So they're just watching. So if you're watching, we just don't want to have you part of our video. So.
But we do want to invite you to ask questions, and you know, Ray will be there as well as some other people in the background. Yeah, you can report in Spanish if you have something.
Well, we're doing a 10 o'clock in Spanish.
10 o'clock in Spanish. So you know, you can stay on if you'd like, if you speak Spanish, or you can come back on at 10 o'clock. But if you have questions, you can write it in English or Spanish. Ray's here to translate, and we'll get those questions answered. We do want you to go ahead and post those questions, I think, as we're going along, because you've got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, and one more thing, that these are recorded, so if you watch this later, and we have people answering these questions in marketing, so if there's a question, or you can come back to us with a question, we'll answer your question, but you can, if you're watching this tomorrow, you can also answer the question then. We'll get back to you.
The other point that I'd like to point out, this is off the hip. We're not reading a teleprompter. This is live. So, you know, if there's hiccups, if there's something going on, you know, the bottom line, we want to educate you guys about this sander, about the vacuum, about the system itself. A lot of what we're going to talk about are questions that I've received over the last year with the AMES stores, you know, where maybe a user's so used to using what they're currently using, and then they get the sander in their hands and they don't understand why the tool acts this way or why the tool does this, and those are the things we're going to go over.
Really going to help us too, because we get questions from our stores and customers, and you know, it'll really help us to learn, so really look forward to it.
Yeah, sure. So let's just dive right in here.
Right.
We'll put the sander, kind of give a little understanding of what we're talking about. There's a lot of sanders that are in the market, and the other competitive products that are in the market are on what's called a straight shaft design. What I mean by that is the motor is parallel to the head. So if you see the way that head's kind of arched, the competitive products or other units that are out there, that head is actually sitting parallel with the motor.
Okay.
But the way the Flex is designed, we have an ergonomic design to this. And basically it's in an S, what we call an S-shaped design. The head arches towards the wall, and you probably see it more like this. The head arches towards the wall, and that motor actually arches towards your body. So this is a key point that a lot of people, when they put this in their hands for the first time, Mark, they have to get it, they have to wrap their head around that, because usually when you're sanding with a Porter cable or a competitive product, you're standing very close to the wall because of that straight, that straight shaft design, that head you want it to.
Straight, right, it's
Yeah,
lined
so
up with
you're standing very close to the wall, but because of this, you can't sand like that with this, because if you are standing like that, you're having to push that head, and you're going to just dig into the drywall.
Dig into the paper. Yeah.
So you want to literally I tell everybody, take that extra step back, about 3 or 4 feet away from the wall, come into the wall with that head just perfect on the wall. And then as you move, you're going to move your hand, as I'm working with it. So, you're moving your hand, you're constantly rotating the body of the unit and things like that. And, you can see right off the bat, one of the designs is how flexible that head really is.
Wow. Yeah, it's very flexible, very easy to move around.
And even, honestly, in today's market, you see a couple other newer units that are on the market, and those, we like to say, those people have used our design because they know it's ergonomically correct. They know that it's an innovative idea, so they have that fork-shaped design. Okay. You've seen some other units that have come onto the market, and they have something similar to this, and that's, we take that as a compliment. So
keeps it easy to keep it on the wall, but there is a small adjustment there to keep it, as opposed to the Porter cable. You got to kind of.
It is definitely a small adjustment, and I think that this is a lot more, user friendly in the sense that it's a lot more flexible than some of the other units that are out there. I think also this has been used quite a bit. I've seen some of the units that have been used quite a bit. That flexibility stays there. I think that's another thing to point out. Because some of the fresh units you may get out of a box have that flexibility at the beginning, but then you lose it over time.
Just floats around, yeah.
Yeah, so that's something to point out. Another quick thing to point out while we're right here at the head is the interface pad. All of your drywall sanders have that, what we call, this is called a super soft. That's what we call it, a super soft interface pad. So it's your Velcro pad. Some of the people's units, if you have what I would call an original sander, you may have a flathead screw here that does the same thing. Okay. But we since changed that because people typically, with a flathead screwdriver, they think, well, I got to tighten it all the way down. This you want to be careful with, and you can over tighten this. Even this pad is a little bit cupped, so it probably needs to be replaced. And it's been maybe over tightened a little bit, so we'll see how it acts on the wall. But a lot of times if you get like where it's flapping, you hear like a vibration on the wall or anything like that, that's because your interface pad is wore out or it's cupped and it's time to replace it.
We had that the other day. We didn't know. Yeah.
Can you hold that for a second? So I'm just going to show you all these different things while we got this apart. So this is called your base plate. This comes with the unit when you buy it. If for some reason that you break this or you lose this, you can buy everything you have in your hands there, Mark. You can buy this whole entire as a kit. So the store manager is able to get this as a kit. It's obviously a little more expensive because you have all the different parts, but it can be bought as a kit. You can also buy just the interface pad, just the foam piece, as an individual. Obviously that's going to be your least expensive and cost-effective way to do it.
So if you feel like this is jumping around on the wall, you feel some extra vibration, it could be because this has been over tightened.
Yeah, it may not be bad yet, but most likely your center screw is over tightened.
I see.
The other thing, if you get any unusual noise, it's good to sometimes take this apart, maybe take like one of your brushes or toothbrush or something and kind of loosen this extra dust up in here, because this will build up over time. Yeah. Especially if you're using any early, what do you call it? Early mud, when it's a little bit wet on the wall.
Oh yeah, they're using some of the setting compounds. They'll set. They won't be dry. They'll still have the moisture in there.
Yeah.
So they'll pick up that heavier dust.
Yeah. So if you're picking up that heavier dust and you have that extra moisture, this is just something you need to do as basic maintenance. Yeah. Just like you clean your tools in your wash bin. Right. It's definitely something you got to make sure that you get taken care of.
Just clean it out.
Yeah, exactly. The other thing, we do have two different backing plates here. While I have this apart, Ray has on the table there the hard backing plate. We'll bring it in here, Ray. So we'll just, just rip it out of there. I just want to show you guys all these different accessories as we go along. The nice thing is, and you know, I can give you all the part numbers and stuff like that, but realistically, you can ask it in the notes if you see an accessory and you need a answer, we'll get you that 6-digit part number. But obviously, you can go to any AMES store.
Right.
They have all of these part numbers in the system, and you can get this. This is really cool. This makes our unit different than our competitors. Okay. This is a hard backing plate. This would be used if we've got like a popcorn ceiling, maybe, what's the
like a knockdown orange peel?
Yeah, orange peel, whatever.
They got like the stipple texture here. Sometimes we've had that where they want to make a smooth finish, and it's very, very aggressive texture.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think the smooth ceiling is a big thing. The last time I ran into this was at a Marriott remodel, and they wanted the ceiling, you know, skim coated, and it obviously was a popcorn ceiling from an older hotel. So they were literally sanding every ceiling with this system, with this. But what this does, you remove that base plate. So you're going to remove that base plate. You can see that the spindle's like keyed. So we're just going to put that keyed unit. It only goes one way on there. Sits down in there, and that's how you get it in there. You do notice this sits a little bit lower than that does. So if for some reason, you know, this becomes a problem, this skirt, some guys do remove that skirt. I'm just being honest with you. You can without a problem. There's just some screws that you take that skirt off to remove that. Some guys say they like to take that off. You can also, I think the different sandpaper companies also make their own interface pad that can raise it up a little bit if you want. So you can put another interface pad in here to just give yourself a little bit further away from the surface.
And that pad just gives you a more rigid, more harder surface.
This is just more rigid. It's going to be much more aggressive. Yep. You would not want to use this on every application because you'll dig into the walls if you're not careful. So
maybe a concrete ceiling with popcorn.
You could, yeah, for sure. So obviously, I'm going to put this back together. I really want to make sure this is clear and you guys understand this.
That really helped a lot, Chris, about over tightening, because
this is a huge difference. I think even on the Porter cable, don't people over tighten that, and that becomes a problem?
They just think it's going to be tight.
So you know, I mean, the biggest thing, this foam pad, you can kind of see that with the camera how it's cupped. You don't want that, to be honest with you. You do want it flat. We have this like indent area, and you can see maybe this might have been over tightened, but. You know, this is real life here. I'm just showing you what it is, and we're talking about it.
Well, we had this with a customer out in California that was using this particular unit, so he evidently tightened it too much. Yeah.
And I think this is just a key point. So you put that silver plate on there. This is just literally finger tight. And what I tell people is, as you put that on, you saw it just suck itself right down. That's as tight as I want it. Yeah. You really don't want to do it. You know, you don't want to turn it till you can't turn it anymore or anything like that. Just a nice flat surface, because when you get this on the wall, you're on the wall, so you're going to be holding it in place anyways. This is just to keep it from going side to side when you really turn that unit on.
Is the rotation spinning too? It shouldn't loosen, right? It should tighten.
No, yeah, that won't. I've never had anybody say, hey, that's walked out or anything like that. But you know, that's
one thing, Chris. I saw that you just put your hand on. There's a nice flat spot right here. That's a grip, right?
This is actually a design feature.
Yeah.
This oval shape, it does feel good in your hand, versus just a circle style shape. This oval piece actually has a reason for that, and it is based on the way it feels in your hand. Just some other features that you see that we're working with here. Everything is within hand, where your hand goes. So you've got a trigger, you've got a lock, you've got your speed control. Everything is one finger. You're able to basically right there. This is called a Spay Handle. So when you get to working on the wall with this, you're going to lock it, and then you're going to move your hand where you're comfortable. Because this is going to be running. We're going to do this whole room. We're going to knock it out. You're not going to be pulling the trigger, releasing it, pulling it, and releasing it. You just lock it and leave it on. Some guys will leave it on the entire job. They're going from room to room, and they're getting it done as quick as they possibly can. We'll just switch around here. So the hose. This is an anti-static hose, so any static electricity that's created is taken down to your vacuum and then discharged through the vacuum ground. But set this guy down. Some features that are on the hose, some things to point out. Your hose may come with a gray type of attachment here. Okay. It's similar to this, but it's just gray. If you have the gray one, it's really designed for other tools that we sell that this attaches to. Okay. The red one, it's called the red clip. These are obviously an accessory that people can buy when they lose them, yeah. But this comes with every sander. Typically, it's either on the sander or it's in your owner's manual. Okay. And you can just take that gray clip off, maybe save the gray clip, just put it in your glove box or something. But the red one is the best one. And the reason being is these little tabs right here. So when you put this on, these little tabs make it easy to unhook it from the sander. Because when you're packing your stuff up, you don't keep that hose attached to the sander. It just makes it easy to depress. I think you can see that on the camera pretty good. So the other thing that I'll point out here, when you do have this sander hooked up to a good vacuum, depending on the surface of the wall, you may want to reduce your suction. Some people say, well, why would I want to do that? Sometimes you can get it and you feel the sander almost sucking itself to the wall. Yeah. And a quick fix is this little thing here. You can open this up and this will reduce your suction at the head of the unit and allow a little bit of air to get in. Okay. So that's why that's there.
All right, yeah. I wondered about that too. Yeah, I didn't know that. We didn't know that. So it's a nice adapter.
The other thing that I do like to point out when we're at this point is the fact that all of these attachments that are on this hose are what's called reverse thread. So when you get it through your head, you can take that off. Okay. So this is also a part that you can buy. So say you're at the store, you want to buy the sander, you already have a vacuum, you already have a nice hose. You can buy this adapter as an addition, and most hoses that are 1.25 inch standard, this will just screw right on there because it's a spiral type hose. If you look at it, you don't really realize that, but it's a spiral type hose.
Yeah, it threads right on counter thread.
Reverse thread.
Reverse.
And you got to get that through your head. You're always like, it won't come off.
Go the other way.
Turn it the other way.
It's like a gas line, right? Yeah. It's always opposite.
But these hoses are very rigid that come with the flex.
I just noticed something, Chris, that as you set that there, that the hose isn't sitting on the floor like that. So your hose is actually protected from kinking. Yeah.
The Germans have designed everything and thought of all those little things, and that's something that you pointed out and you thought of right now, but most people wouldn't. But I know yesterday the one sander we had, that hose came out the back and there's no way to set it down or anything, so that was definitely
set it all the way on the ground.
Yeah, exactly. So but that's kind of the hose, that's that fitting. This goes right in there. Yeah, with those red clips, just snaps right in. Nice attachment, everything. What else are we missing about the sander? Everybody asks about the shaft and things like that. Yeah, there's the extension. We can talk about that real quick. You want to grab it? It's right behind you. But, talking about the shaft, the number one question people ask is, how long does the shaft last in this unit? I'll be honest, Mark or Ray, we really haven't had any catastrophic failures with the shaft at all. Yeah. I've had a couple that have come back for repair, and what happened was someone had taken the unit apart thinking something was wrong, and then they didn't get it put back together just perfect, and they stripped out something or caused a problem. It wasn't lined up exactly right. That just small things like that, but nothing crazy. You hold the hose, and I'll show you this. This is an additional accessory, and really, we're talking about all these accessories, Mark, and you asked me before, well, why don't you include all these accessories? If we included all these accessories, then the price would be a lot different. Right. We wanted to give you that unit that's a good quality unit, and then as you have projects, you can add these accessories. That's really what it comes down to. So if you're doing a ceiling, this is what I would buy. Price this into your job, and then you have it for that job. This is cool though. This changes.
It's pretty nice how it just pops right on.
Yeah.
The high, everything's high now. Ceilings and different things are just high ceilings are the norm. You know?
What am I doing here? Oh, this. Yeah, this is a. Grab that. This rubber gasket came loose in here.
Yep, we've got a.
This is one of my demo tools. My gasket came out here. I'll get it back in there.
Yeah, we've got one.
It's in that bag over there. See, this is live. We're showing you reality here.
Yeah, so
there's a small gasket that needs seated back in there, but we'll just use
Try to give you the nice clean one. And
while I'm messing around, we'll just give you.
There you go. That one
give you reality here.
That one was just used, so that one should pop right in there. There you go.
So it clips right in there. It kind of becomes part of the body, which is kind of a unique feature. You know, if we were to have this, of course I wore black today. That's all good. It kind of clips in. It kind of creates that unit that becomes part of the body. Same thing, same type of attachment on the end. We're going to attach our hose.
That red little clip is so nice. It just pops right on.
But what this does is this changes your pivot point. So, you know, I mean, this room, this is a smaller, obviously, room. I probably wouldn't use this extension in here, but gives you that idea. So if I have that, I mean, I'll come out here. How's that? You can see in this big room, you know, so if you have that ceiling, you can change that pivot point.
Yeah.
Did it change or are we good?
There you go.
Good?
Yep. You can see it.
So you're able to get up high.
Yeah, that's a good, what, that's 10 feet?
Yeah, easily 10 feet. That's what we say.
Yeah.
So.
Because these are 8 feet boost. Yeah.
You know, it's just easy. And then it's easy to come right off as well.
Yeah, that one was just used.
Yeah.
Got the dust in it. Pretty cool, Chris. That's.
I mean, it's one of those things where it's just added accessories. You know, people.
Do other brands have adapters for length extension? Not that, you know.
Not like that.
Yeah.
Not like that. I mean,
that's
most of them, the extensions are inside the unit itself.
Yeah.
And what we did and what the Germans decided was, why would we include that weight with the unit? We just want to make it an accessory. Guys can add it if they need it, and take it off if they don't need it.
It's just this is something they can get at AMES extra handle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Adapter. Oh, nice. Just little lap box there. That's nice.
On the table over there, Ray, there's another type of handle that we can show them. It's in a white box, a rectangle box, small rectangle box. Over there.
Oh,
No, right there, that box. Yep.
Got it.
Just another kind of cool accessory. Some of the AMES stores keep these in stock. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. Some of the AMES stores keep this on their display. This is just, once again, another type of handle. Literally goes on. You can put it whatever way works best for you.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it can go any which way.
Kind of like a weed eater thing.
It really is. That's really what it kind of, you know, has that design, but it fits around that. You know, it kind of fits right on there.
Is this a new thing, Chris? Is that?
No, it's been around. We just, it's not an accessory that we talk a lot about. And that's why we do videos like this, so we can show you these cool, like, things like this. You know, it depends on what you're doing, but, you know, it's just another way of, if this is too big in your hand, maybe this style handle might work better for you when you're working.
Might keep that orientation too, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I have bigger hands, so that, you know, this style thing feels good in my hand when I'm working with it. You know, but once again, I'm a sales guy. I'm not a drywall guy, so you know, I've done this. I did this in my own personal house. I just did my son's bedroom recently when we needed to resand the walls. Someone rolled the paint roller in dust before they painted.
Ooh, yeah.
So it was a textured wall.
Sanded
But
down.
it's kind of funny. But you know, everybody's laughing at me on the video right now. I guarantee that. But the bottom line, this, you know, it can work in multiple different areas.
Well, you know, we see a lot of on job sites the silica and the sanding protocols that you have to have. So dustless sanding, and certainly making it easier by the sander. A lot of people use sanders now, power sanders with the vacuum, which you'll talk about. But
Yeah.
it's almost a necessary now on jobs for safety, for just a lot of the contractors required. If you're on a commercial job, I was in Miami a few weeks ago, and there was a lot of trades in there. You just can't sand. You just can't start sanding. You got a lot of other people to think about. So dustless sanding is required now.
Well, you know, rolling right into the dustless sanding, I mean, we can roll the vacuum in here and maybe go over some of the features on it. You know, this setup is, you know, one of the better, I would say, Mark, honestly, it's one of the better vacuums out in the market today. It's very price competitive for what you're getting. And, you know, that's really what makes this vacuum what it is. This is a HEPA certified vacuum.
Okay.
When this comes in the box, there will actually be a hand-signed HEPA certification for it. So if you're on a commercial job site, you can laminate that and keep it in your folder. You know,
safety guy comes around. Yep.
Your safety guy comes around. This is a HEPA certified unit, and this has basically four filters inside this unit. And you know, we'll just go ahead and start. Yeah, we'll take that all off, and we'll kind of just talk about it. You've got one filter here on the side, which is a washable kind of carbon style filter. It doesn't look like it catches much, but it does actually catch stuff.
Yeah, you can see it on the outside.
You know, this unit, when this exhausts air, it is cleaner than the air we're breathing right now.
Yeah.
That's what basically the HEPA, you know, the HEPA filter does. But as we go here, you open up what we would call like a hood, basically. Some people call this a car filter because it looks very similar to a car filter.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't realize this. This is washable.
Oh, okay.
So
Paper?
it's a type of paper, but it's washable, and you don't want to use it like a lot of soap or anything. You just want to wash it like you wash your normal tools.
Was there a direction you wash it? Like, would you spray it through like as it's blowing out, or does it
I mean,
matter?
when I've washed mine, I've washed it every which way. But
Yeah.
obviously, if it's this way, most of your dust is going to be here. So you're going to want to wash it this way to get the dust out of the filter.
And don't use the car wash, guys.
No, don't use a car wash.
Just don't hose. Yeah.
And don't wash it inside your vacuum.
Yeah. Unplug.
The bottom line, I tell guys, if you are going to wash this on like a Friday, put it in an air-conditioned environment for at least 2 or 3 days. So some guys will have an extra one of these. You know, they'll buy an. They're not expensive.
Yeah.
You know, you buy this as an accessory. You wash it and set it on the countertop. You know, don't put it right back in your unit after you wash it.
Yeah.
It's just going to get clogged.
I do that with my car. I've got one of those replaceable that you can clean out.
Yeah, yeah.
And I put my one in while it's drying for a few days.
Sure.
I do exactly the same thing. So
Yep.
it's good to have an extra one.
Same thing. So
So that's the HEPA filter.
that is not the HEPA filter.
Oh, not okay.
That is called your secondary filter.
Secondary. That's the first.
Your first stage filter is basically your bag.
Okay.
You know, and that's just a paper bag. There are a couple different types of bags. There's one that collects, you know, special types of dusts and things like that. But if you're just sanding standard drywall, these paper bags work great. They come in packages of 5. Pretty much all the AMES stores keep those in stock.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, if you really are concerned about money, I've seen guys empty the bags out.
Yeah,
Just through the small hole.
Yeah.
But, you know, it is what it is.
Your time. There's a lot of time spent doing that.
You see the big orange thing here?
Okay.
That's the HEPA filter.
Gotcha.
They tell us in the owner's manual, I think it says once a year, you should replace this on regular use. You know, and it's a special HEPA filter. There was something you put on the ground there, which is important. That is actually, put this back down in here. I don't know if you've ever talked about it, but you know, everybody on the video hears the bells and stuff. This is a busy warehouse you have here, and
we have the world's longest brake bell.
Is that what that is?
I think it's Guinness now. I think is the longest brake bell. It rings and then it rings and then it really rings. So.
Well, I had never been here when it's as busy as it is, and
Yeah.
I showed up here at 7 a.m. this morning for this video, and the parking lot's completely full.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Mark, am I late?
Yeah. No, we're
You know?
busy. We are busy. We got a good group out here.
But there is, so when you buy that HEPA filter, It comes with this O-ring. So when you take this out, it's good practice just to replace the O-ring in there. You put this filter in. I probably, this is for demo purposes, but I probably wouldn't have taken it out of the package.
Okay.
You know, until you're ready to put it inside the unit, because the time the air actually gets to that HEPA filter, it's already gone through 2 filtrations.
Wow.
So, you know, it's, and it is a sensitive filter. It's a very, takes that fine dust.
It makes, you can put it in a zip, we can put it in a Ziploc or something.
Yeah, you know, you're fine at demo purposes, but you know, that really is what makes this vacuum what it is. I get the question sometimes, would I run the vacuum without that HEPA filter? I would tell you that all of these filters are in place to protect the motor and to protect us, obviously,
Right.
as users. So it's not only protecting us and what we breathe, but it's really protecting the unit itself. So if you want this to be a long-lasting vacuum for you, you really should take the time and buy the extra vacuum bags, you know, wash that secondary filter, and then replace your HEPA filter about once a year.
Maintain it.
Even when you open that HEPA filter up, some guys have opened it up and they're like, it doesn't look dirty. Well, how long have you had the vacuum? 2 years. Well, you probably should replace it. Even though it doesn't look dirty, replace it just to protect your motor and to protect you as a
It's
user.
your investment, take care of your tools.
Couple more cool features that this has. You saw we had the sander itself plugged directly into the unit. And on the control here, we've got 4 different settings. You've got a setting where we can go and I'm just going to turn it on. You're going to hear it. Whoa, what's that?
Everybody always asks me that,
We get that question all the time. Someone says my vacuum's broken. It's the thing's banging like all the time. What is that? So that's actually cleaning that secondary filter. So what it's doing is it basically puts back pressure on that secondary filter, and anything that gets sucked up in there, it's just knocking it down inside the unit. So your heavy dust is going to fall basically to the bottom of your bin.
So it's intentional.
It's intentional. It actually, the computer chip inside here is monitoring, you know, your suction rate and trying to keep that suction rate as consistent as it possibly can.
It's a smart pack.
If you don't like that, if it's driving you nuts on a job site, most people just get used to it. It's just like living near a train track. I live next to a train track. I don't hear it anymore. People stay at my house and they're like, how in the hell do you sleep? You know, it's not bad. I'm used to it. So no, the bottom line, you can turn it off. That's one of the settings. You just turn it down past that pulsation setting, and you can turn that off.
Oh, okay.
On the other side, we have a power tool listed. So that means basically as we have our sander plugged in, if I turn that there, the unit doesn't come on. I'm going to turn off the pulsation for the video purposes. But when you pull this trigger, it's going to start the vacuum. You don't hear it. You know, when you run the vacuum, everything just starts it.
Very quiet.
We'll let it go for a second.
So it just clears out the dust.
Yeah, so what it's doing, so when you pull that trigger, everything starts at the same time, and then it starts the vacuum, and it'll run that vacuum for about 10 seconds longer.
Okay.
Maybe 7 seconds or something like that, but 10 seconds is what I say, to just clear that dust out of that hose. You know, it just makes it easier for you. And, you know, do you have to plug it in here? You don't have to. It just is a convenient way. This thing's on nice casters, so it'll roll around your job site and kind of follow you.
It's got locking casters too.
It has locking casters.
Something that you don't want to roll off.
It's good quality. I will point this out though. This is not a seat. You cannot sit on this, Ray, while we're in the other room.
There's no cup
Do
holders.
not sit on this. There's no cup holders. There's nothing. And the reason I say that, to be honest with you, Mark, and it's not a laughing matter, this is a nice vacuum. I have had people that have broken the casters by sitting on it, and then they say that, hey, this is covered under warranty. I say, send me some pictures, and I look, and I mean, I help people out and I fix things, but you know, come on, it doesn't just break.
You gotta sit on a bucket. There's buckets, or you can sit on a chair.
Yeah.
They make these nice folding chairs now. You can bring on the job. They're a little easy.
But overall, this is a great vacuum. It does come in 2 models. This is the 9-gallon, which is standard.
Okay.
Every AMES store sells this unit. It's a readily stocked item at most AMES stores, along with the sander.
Did you say 9-gallon?
This is a 9-gallon. There is a 12-gallon unit as well. The motor, all of the accessories, everything's the same. It obviously just has a little bit bigger dust hopper in it.
Hey Chris, what's this button here for? That one?
Why would you want to reduce your suction? But that is actually a suction reducer.
Oh.
So if it's sucking too much for you, and you've got your project figured out, you can literally adjust this. I think maybe we'll hear it on the video. Let me turn it on. So first of all, the one thing you hear is we're physically able to talk, and they can still hear us. So it's a quiet unit. It's a very smooth unit, very quiet. But as I turn that up,
I mean, look, there's some jobs. Previous life commercial work. Ray and I both did work together. The office, noise is a thing. You can't.
Yeah.
A lot of times you have to work at night, but if there's an office environment and you're doing a room, they want it as quiet as possible, or they'll ask you to leave. So that's pretty nice. You might have to go a little bit slower, but you can reduce your sound. So that's
a lot of guys, I've talked to a lot of your store managers and things, and guys that are on hospital jobs or environments where dust is a real concern. Mm-hmm. Buying this package is probably your best option. It's going to be quieter than other things on the market. It's going to, have that HEPA filter that the dust is going through, and things like that. It's just a overall much safer, and all around, I believe, one of the best packages out there. Let's talk briefly. AMES actually has a promotion going on, which starts here tomorrow. Is it tomorrow that it starts, I think?
I think it's on the 1st. Yeah, April 1.
That's one of the reasons we came on to this video, is to give the market kind of an understanding. And AMES has this special going. The unit typically runs, at your AMES stores at, I think, $549.
$549.99.
And we actually have a promotion going for $449 for the sander, and then if you buy 2, they even drop it down to $399. Wow. The other thing that point out on that promotional sander is that it is slightly different. It's actually an upgraded model. It's called our open face. So it's called the GE5R.
Okay.
I think you have the head sitting over there on the table.
I do have that, yeah. That's got that side.
Yeah, we have this just as a demonstration purposes, but it's basically the exact same sander we're talking about here. It just has that open face on it.
Oh, I got you.
So
you don't have to pay the quarter.
we've sold it for years. It's been an upgraded model, but we have this promotion going, which is a great deal. The sander will act the same way, but what this will do is you're able to actually physically do those edges, as well as do your open wall areas.
And catch the dust.
And catch the dust.
Yeah.
A good dust collection.
A lot of times when you're just using a round, it'll spin. If you're doing it right, it won't as much. But with that, it just catches the dust.
Yeah. So I mean, the motor, everything's exactly the same. Just the heads has that open face, which is an upgrade. But you guys are running it on promotion, and then the vacuum. That's a crazy deal. Normally it's $500 for the vacuum, and you have it at $419 during this promotion. That promotion starts tomorrow. I guarantee if you talk to your store managers today are interested in this package, every single AMES store has this package in stock. So it's not a matter of the AMES manager having to order it in or anything like that. It is there in all 80 stores, which is an awesome deal.
And it's good for a month, so it's an April buy, a hot buy for April. They say through the 30th. Yeah. So it's a 1 month deal.
And I would tell you, Mark, it is a first come first serve basis on this promotion.
Yeah.
Because we do have limited stock on this promotional price product, but it's there at your AMES store right now.
It's sitting there. Yeah. I saw there's a picture. There's a couple attachments on this. Is there that go on?
Yeah.
On the
So
vacuum?
kind of back to the vacuum itself. And we mentioned this earlier in the video. We wanted to make these units affordable for everybody, so we didn't include all of these accessories that we have.
Sure.
But that being said, as you get the system, maybe there are things that you feel like you're missing or things that you want. So all of those accessories are able to be purchased. There is like a handle that can go on the back of this for pushing it around the job site. Personally, I don't use the handle on my own. Oh, touching the mic, sorry. Personally, I don't use that handle because I like it fits in the back of my car without the handle, more or less. But the other thing that's really cool, which I wish I had and I didn't, there's a clip, kind of a plastic piece that goes on the side. Some of the store managers already keep them in stock because it is a really cool accessory, but it would allow your sander to sit like this.
Hold it right in.
It literally holds your sander just like this on a job site. It's so cool. Yeah, it's
yeah, because a lot of times with our tools too, people lean it in the middle, you know, somebody will it'll fall over.
Yeah.
These are pretty durable, but
yeah,
you just keep it with it or keep it on like a stand.
It's called a giraffe holder is what that's called.
Holder.
You know, I mean, it's just a simple thing to add on. For some reason, your vacuum's missing the hose holder. I'm not sure why.
Yeah. Well,
that comes with it though.
It was with it. We had this unit out in California. It was a big customer was wanting to try it out, demo it. We had one of our sales guys requested it, so we have a demo unit here. We have 2 demo units here at our training center, and this one was out. So it's real life. It's like you said. This thing's been used a lot.
Yeah, sure.
You can see. This thing is,
yeah.
Still got, we haven't cleaned it yet. Usually we bring all the stuff back in and clean it, but this particular unit's been used quite a bit, and they loved it.
But like I said, there's a holder here that you hold your hose with. I didn't even mention this. Small things like this. This is for wrapping your cord at the end of the day. So we've got it plugged in, but basically your cord, and then you're able to
latch it right on.
Latch it right up there and keep everything organized, and.
Yeah, because you see people wrapping their cords around. And
yeah,
that's a place for it. That's pretty handy. Well, that's good. Well,
that's pretty much everything accessory-wise that we went over.
Can we talk about repair? Maybe some of the.
We can. Do you want to sand with it for a minute
yeah,
while we're right here?
Yeah. Let me fire it up.
Let's get a piece of paper. Get some paper. The unit comes. I get this question all the time, Ray. So I want to point this out. The unit does come with a couple test papers, which are the yellow sheets with all the holes in it. That is a product called Yoast sandpaper out of Germany. And this paper, this is available through the AMES system. I know you guys buy this and sell it in certain stores. So if you want this paper specifically, I'm sure you can ask your manager for it, at your branch. But this is what the sample paper that comes on all of our sanders. We just have a relationship with them. It works well with our sander. But a lot of the stores I know now have the screen paper. What I would tell you with this sander is it will work with whatever paper you're comfortable with using. The more holes you have in the paper, or the more like screen type paper, it seems to be becoming more popular. Mm-hmm. This vacuum, the package, everything is sucking that dust. So the more dust you can get away from the wall, the better it is for your sanding, right. And just the better it is for having a dust-free environment.
Sure.
So,
which one you prefer?
I don't really care.
This is a little lighter.
Yeah.
The yellow is 80 grit.
Here, let me turn that on while you're. Just because of the demo purpose, I'm going to turn the popping off, put my ear protection back in.
Give it a run, or you got it?
I can run it for a second, and then I can critique you. You're probably better at this than me. But I think the biggest thing, Mark, is on a job site, you're only going to be doing this, quick. We'd be done with this room in less than 5 minutes if we're really doing this. And if you've mudded it, I probably could be here for less.
Less sanding with tools, yeah, for sure.
So once again, let's turn it on to the tool thing. Let's turn it all the way around, yep. So the vacuum is off, but we have the vacuum set on the tool setting. So when I pull this, it's going to start, and then it's going to turn itself off. But I'm going to pull that trigger, I'm going to lock that.
Lock it in.
And then I'm going to move my hand where I'm comfortable with working with it.
And your body position's important.
The body position is important. I'm not going to be standing close to the wall like we were talking earlier in the video. That's that straight shaft design. I'm going to take that extra step back.
A little bit, yeah.
And you want to come into the wall so that head is just touching that wall. And then I'm just going to be floating that along the wall as I'm working.
And we've done some artwork here, but normally there's just a joint.
That's not your seams?
Yeah, yeah. This is a rough wall, but yeah, we practice it.
Everybody on the videos.
Yeah.
American side.
Yeah.
Oh, listen
We do
to
live
this.
demos with our videos, so I think an engineer snuck in here and practiced because they'll try different things or try
Sure.
blocks out. So, but over here now, this is Ray's side, so
That's perfect,
tell Ray
right?
to get his eyes checked because he missed the joint. I said, no, it's up here, Ray. Yeah.
This is a textured finish, right? Is that what
It's
that
a new
is?
style. Yeah.
All right.
No doubt. Very quiet. Really quiet.
And let's let this stop for a second.
So it's just cycling through.
Yep. So what you saw when I was working, there was virtually no
No, I
dust.
was going to say I didn't see
The other thing is when I pulled that away from the wall, we had such good dust collection that you didn't see a poof of dust. And I've seen that on multiple sites with other things that people are using, where when they pull it away from the wall, you get a poof of dust.
spins. Yeah, it spins.
What, I did my first presentation with AMES, 3 or 4 years ago here, and I at the time I wasn't selling this in the U.S. yet. So, I told them when I was in Germany at a trade show, we would sand. We had a ceiling set up specifically above, like our danishes and coffee. So, and it was just a kind of a
cool.
comical thing,
Breakfast.
but there's no no dust, except we had powder covered donuts that day.
Oh, yeah. Textured donuts. I remember meeting you, Chris, up at our store in Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah.
And you came into the store, and that's about 3 years ago, I think.
I live in Columbus, Ohio, so Dan at that store, if you're watching, he runs that store well, and sells a lot of our sanders. But he was actually the first store that actually saw the unit.
I remember that.
I don't even know if I was allowed to show it to him yet because of things we had going on. But it's a nice sander, and it's been around for a long time. So it's proven sander. It's just a matter of the contractor feeling comfortable on the job site with it. What I would also tell you, how are we doing on time, Ray?
Yeah.
We're good.
We got 20 minutes.
10 more minutes.
Oh, 10 more minutes.
10 more minutes.
Yeah, we better.
All right, so let's finish this up. We'll run over there, or do you want to do another video on that? We can finish this video.
We can. With Facebook, we're limited to 1 hour. So what we can do is if you want to finish, we'll just have to log off and come back on for just to add to that. So maybe, how long do you think the maintenance would take? 10, 15 minutes?
10, 15 minutes, we'll have another video on maintenance. We can go over that.
So-
That'd probably be a good idea, and that'd be great to have a second video on maintenance.
Let's do that. So we've done that before. So I've got some Ray's over there waving, counting the fingers. We're getting down to like 10 minutes. So we'll finish up at the 1 hour. So we'll finish like a couple minutes before, and then we'll log back in. So you'll get a notice. You'll come back on, and then we'll do the maintenance.
Yeah. I mean, the bottom line, I want everybody to feel comfortable with the sander.
A lot of information, really good stuff.
I mean, I tried to go over everything for you guys, so you can have those things. You can also reach out not only to AMES on Facebook, you can reach out to Flex North America on Facebook and message us if you have specific questions. You can send us pictures if you have an issue that you don't understand or something. I'd be more than happy to answer that.
Really good information. I've personally learned a lot from
AMES
this.
is asking if the sender and the vacuum can sell separate.
Yeah, I believe in the ad, I don't see stipulations that it has to be purchased together. So if you're looking for a good vacuum, the 419, I believe, is available to everybody.
No, and to that point, I think that you can buy them separately. But if you already have a vacuum and you want to use the Flex sander, we're going to talk about that. We're going to go back to you have some information about adapting.
Yeah, some adapters. So if you want to watch the next video, I am going to talk about the Dewalt vacuum. I know a lot of people out there have that. So if you want to buy just the sander and you have a Dewalt vacuum, there is a way to attach it, and I'll show that in the next video we'll post here in a few minutes. But
so you can buy one or the
yeah,
other.
there's no stipulation there. The bottom line, I would literally tell you guys that are watching this video right now, you're going to get a head start on anybody else that would come into the store. I don't even know if these posters are up at the store yet. They probably aren't. But talk to your store manager, because there is limited quantity on those prices, and you definitely want to take advantage of that. So let's let Mark finish this out. He can stand for a minute with it.
Right-handed, so.
You saw, Mark, when we were working with this, it wasn't vibrating on the wall or anything.
No.
So maybe your interface pad was okay, but you see how you're testing it right now because you haven't used this a lot on the job site.
Yeah.
But you see what I'm saying. So stand where you normally would with a quarter cable.
Yeah, you can see where the head is like it's really obvious. It's going to go out this way.
Right, but people don't understand that, and I'm not saying anybody. This is an education thing. Take that extra step away from the wall,
Yep.
and it feels good in your hand.
Make the angle. It's the angle.
It is the angle.
Make it the
Yeah.
perfect,
And it's a simple thing.
together.
It's a simple adjustment. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
your first thing, because they're probably very used to doing this, but you just make a simple adjustment. So when you put it on the wall, it's like this instead of
Yeah,
like
and
that.
and as you're going to feather it, you're moving. You're not always keeping that hand right here.
Yeah.
You feel move. Feel comfortable. Don't get tight in the same position, and
just kind of relax a little bit.
relax and just let it float on the wall.
Yeah, let me give it a. So you just turn it on, lock it.
I like that. Yep.
Lock it.
Vacuum
And then
started.
You go to the wall, just kind of put it on the
Yep.
wall. Move over here. Move it around.
And there's no dust.
Yeah. You got your donut over there?
There's no dust. Yeah, my donuts.
Yeah. And then when you come off the wall, you come off the same way.
There's-
You don't want to do. I'm going to do it wrong.
Sure,
If
go
you
ahead.
do it wrong, you go. You're gonna.
He's going to do it wrong, so you see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see that. That's not good.
You want to keep it flat on the wall. So
And the other thing that you're doing, I just flipped it off so we're short on time. The other thing that you're doing, which you're just natural at it, is you're not applying very much pressure at all.
Right.
With this sander, you don't need to apply pressure. Let the sander do the work, let the sandpaper do its work, and you don't need to apply a lot of pressure.
this really feels good too here. I honestly never. The other one I've used, it's rounded, and I feel a real positive grip.
Yeah.
Before my hands it'll move around, but this feels really a good,
Another quick point to throw in there. I know that other sanders in the market don't talk a lot about popcorn ceilings. We do talk about it because I know our sander works for that. I would tell you it only goes one direction on the ceiling. Because of the design of the head, and you can kind of put it up on the ceiling, if you're pulling back, even when it's not running, you sometimes will get a little bit of drag. So if you are working the popcorn ceiling, you always want to work kind of in that one motion. I'm not going to be doing full back and forth like this on the ceiling.
So you wouldn't go like this. You just kind of go.
You kind of be walking as you go to get that popcorn ceiling off.
Come back.
Yep. And I've seen videos on YouTube of removing popcorn ceilings. It's a messy job. Guys are scraping, they're spraying, they're scraping.
Oh, there's a customer in Florida. That's all he does. He
I mean,
came
that's
up here for
it's
training.
that's a lot of work, a lot of cleanup. If you're removing that ceiling, you're getting ready to put a skim coat on it or something. This is going to collect that dust. It's going to make it a lot less, a lot cleaner on the job site.
Oh, that's really nice. And it's a simple adjustment. I found myself at first, listening helps. Sometimes when you get training, it'll lessen the learning curve. But
Yeah.
Hopefully these videos will help you. But if you stand back, if you stand like
You're not going to like that.
I don't know if you can see that, Ray, but I'm right on the wall there. But if you
Just an extra step.
Yep. And we teach that with our tools because with the bazooka, we try to stay at arm length back, and then you can operate the tool. Because if you're real close, then you have to move your feet around.
What's so funny is what's happened at a lot of these stores. Belinda up in Chicago. I was just at her store last week. She does a great job in her store. She was buying a few sanders at a time. Now she buys them by the pallet.
Yeah.
She's got guys that are asking for the flex sander, and what that is because they've bought one or two sanders in their project. They may have 20 sanders in their line, and as things break or as they need to replace them, they're buying the flex sander. And what that shows me is that it's not a one-time sale. I'm earning the trust of those people, and it is what it is. It's a great sander that we make in our factory, and it has a lot of innovation there that people just may not see at first, but give it a full day. That's what I tell people, Mark, is don't just take it out, do one wall and say, I don't like it. Give it a full day and you'll see it.
No, that takes a little time to learn things. We still got 5 minutes. So.
Yeah.
The learning curve and the people in our trade don't like to change. the people that are early adopters, as you know, that they tend to be, you know, the people that get ahead. So if there's some new technology, it's got to be better. And we're talking about all the features and benefits, but
the only reason we come out with new tools is to make it better for the user,
Yep.
to make it easier for you guys, to make it safer. I think that's really, you know, what it comes down to.
well, it's quieter. It
Yeah.
picks up the dust. You know, it collects it as you're sanding.
What you just said brought up another point. I know we're off the hip here, you know, trying to make sure we cover everything, but it's quieter. Number one call that I got, you know, when we first launched this was, it doesn't feel like it has as much power, and that's mental, because
Like it.
it has enough power to do what it's doing. It's because it's so quiet and so smooth that you have that mentality. Well, it doesn't, you know, it doesn't have that hard start. It doesn't have that, you know, there's small things like a soft start on the trigger. It's a smoother unit, so it gives it's a lot quieter. Just all those little features which make it what it is.
Just looking at how it moves around too with the wheels, you got the rubber wheels in the bigger in the back. It just seems like it would pull with you easier. Than,
Let's see if Ray can see that. So if we're pulling this around on the job site, you know, it just literally follows you around. And with that good hose and the way it works, you know, so if you're in your room and things like that, it's gonna move around for you as you need it.
yeah. It pivots around with two wheels on the front.
Yeah.
And they do lock. They do lock if you have to.
Nice metal casters.
If you don't want it to move, if you're on a lift or something and you don't want it to move, then that's pretty good. Nice. Well,
Cool.
why don't we we're close on time. Why don't we don't want to run. Yeah. So
Yeah.
let's stop.
Yeah, let's stop here and
everybody, if you can log back in, watch. We're going to sign off and then we're going to come right back. So it'll be like 2 minutes.
and the next video is not going to be an hour.
It'll be 15 minutes.
Yeah, we're going to go over the inside of the tool a little bit so you can see the basic oil change.
Yeah.
And
parts
then
and all the parts.
Yeah.
And remember, at 10 o'clock in Espanol, in Spanish, Ronaldo and Chris are going to be doing the same presentation for Spanish speaking.
Hola, ¿cómo se llama Cristobal?
Yes.
Reinaldo.
So we're going to log off. I'm going to log it off if I
Back
can.
to the practice.
Come right back. Okay. Let me
Thanks, guys.
finish it. Yeah.
75, 78.
Okay,
Really?
folks, thanks for coming back. We're back live again here. Mark Wilson with Chris Metcalf with Flex Tools. We're going to walk through some maintenance things, so these are really cool. So, Chris, we ready?
Yeah, let's do it, Mark.
Flip it around. And
Cool.
I'm going to I'm going to put this on our tripod. I don't mess it up. There you go, Ray. You're all set.
So am I in the shot there? I'm good. So, thanks for coming back. I don't know if you watched us earlier, but that is recorded. So you can go on the AMES Taping Tools Facebook and see that, probably in your video library or whatever. The point of this video that we're coming back on, we're going to give you a short understanding of what's inside the Flex tool. I think that's important because a lot of people don't realize, but it's just like an oil change on your car. And what I mean by that is you don't drive your car 100,000 miles and expect it to not do anything to it. So what we're going to show are just basic maintenance, Mark.
Oh, cool.
I've already taken this apart. I'll be honest with you, Mark, the hardest part of this is taking out the 11 screws that this comes with. There is a nice video on YouTube. I think our good friends over at Tool Pro actually made the video a long time ago when they first launched it. It's a good video, but it goes over this on YouTube. So we do use a T15. It's that special star type bit.
Oh, it's a star bit.
The reason they don't have just basic Phillips in here is because most German tools use this as a standard.
that's true.
It is a little more precise, and things like that. Number one thing here, whenever you take a power tool apart, you don't have it plugged in. What we're showing you here, just as a disclaimer, is more just an education purpose. We're not telling you have to do this or anything like that. Just I'm showing you what's inside this tool because I know that these guys that are out on this job sites, they're constantly taking their tools apart to fix them, because if a tool goes down on a job site, it's a big deal.
Yeah, there's some self maintenance you can do yourself and keep you moving.
A lot of times also, obviously in this environment, Mark, an electric power tool breathes the air that's around you. So this is a dusty environment. This is a dirty environment, however we look at it. It's the bottom line. But we've taken those T15, the 11 screws out. I do not remove the screws from the holes. Don't turn it upside down and try and get all the screws out. Just leave them in there.
Are they all the same length? Or are they,
No,
they're different. Okay,
that's why I'm telling you, don't take them, and they are a little different. So take them and set it here, and just have that out of the way. Another quick point on this unit, there's anti-vibration rubber little rings. There's 4 of them on each side of the motor. Some guys will take super glue and put a little super glue on them so they don't lose them. But those are important because when we put this back together, we want this to operate and work properly.
Right.
Some things like up here, you've got your Planetary gear system. You can see your shaft. I tell people you really don't need to do a lot up in the head of this unit or in the front of this motor housing. Most everything you do is going to be in the back, which is just plug and play like an oil change.
Okay.
Up here, you may need to send it in for warranty or repair. I know some of your stores do some of that intense repairs, so that's available.
I haven't heard of many of this shaft. I haven't heard many of those.
No, we don't see a lot of issues with that. So just looking here, if you've ever been inside a tool, you know that you've got your carbon brushes here. Every power tool has 2, 1 on each side. And there's a little spring. I kind of brought this, the pliers here because you can see the spring here. I don't know if you can see that on the video or not.
Yeah.
But that video or that spring has a little slot for where that sits. 9 times out of 10, if your tool's new, something's not working right, it's because your carbon brush isn't seated right. The spring may have jumped off.
Like a battery, huh? Like
Yeah.
a battery,
So if that spring jumps off like that, you're able to put that right back in there. I've also seen some new tools where maybe a guy dropped it by accident or threw it in the truck, and this little copper wire can break off of that carbon brush. The flex carbon brushes also have a non-conductive component in it, so it'll pull that, when it gets down to the end of its life, it'll pull that off. So, if you've ever seen a competitor's unit out in the market and it starts shooting blue sparks out of it, that's when you replace the motor.
Yeah.
Ours that won't happen because it has that non-conductive component in there. But you see all these wires, everything has its place. Even the wires have a little slot where the wires sit. So what I tell you is when you take this apart, take a picture, understand where everything is. If you're having to replace your speed control, even these things, you just pull these off and these just pull apart. It's very simple repair. Just plug and play. And then you put that right back on there and it goes right in its own place.
It's a good idea. Take a picture. Use your phone,
Yeah.
take a picture.
Yeah, I've been in here, so I know where everything kind of goes. But all this stuff just has its own little slot that it slides in. Right here, this is a common part that gets replaced. Maybe you're not using a vacuum. I would highly recommend always using the vacuum, but if you're not, some of these components like the switch are going to go bad prematurely. It's just going to be, that's regular maintenance for you. It's not covered under warranty. It's something that, if it breaks or it's jammed up because of dust, it's just something you got to replace. So it's just literally unscrew it, put the wires in the same spot, put that unit right back. Sometimes your cord, from constant movement, you're going to have a break right here where this white clip is. So you could technically shorten your cord if you wanted to. Cut the cord, move the cord in, strip the wires and do that. But
Just buy a cord.
buy a new cord. Yeah, call your AMES store. A lot of stores now keep the wires in stock.
Yeah.
So carbon brushes are typically in stock at your AMES stores, all that type of stuff. But once I understand my basic maintenance, your carbon brushes, your switch, those types of things.
So Ray had a question earlier.
Yeah.
I think Ray, you had asked about
About the
lubrication.
lubrication on the
There was-
shift.
there
Some of them they think if they throw some oil right here on the shift.
Like
it's
if you
going
spray oil in the vents
right
and
there,
stuff.
Yeah. It's going to work more easy, but it's wrong because the dust keep on the oil and make a small
A bigger
rock.
piece of
It's a
dust.
big piece
Yeah.
of rock, and it's going to be more tight on your
So-
cable. So
Don't spray.
I would not recommend with this unit spraying any oil inside the motor. All of our stuff is sealed and properly lubricated where it needs to be. So you really don't need to do that. It's not, and honestly, it's probably bad because dust is just going to stick to that grease.
Right.
And it's going to cause more problems. It's going to gum things up. But, you know, all of your stores will have, you know, your parts list readily available, you know, where the parts break down. So you can go see your AMES location where they've got the parts breakdown, and they can get you whatever part you're missing or anything like that. And once again on this video, you know, great deal going on. It starts tomorrow. If you're interested in it, make sure you contact your AMES manager and try and see if they have these available. Every single store, as of today, has these in stock unless they've sold out of them already. You know, and they not only have the sander, a great deal. You buy 2 of them, you get them for $3.99, or even the vacuum at $4.19.
Yeah, it comes with the hose comes with the vacuum, right? Yeah, the vacuum is with the hose.
Yeah, the hose does come with the vacuum. This package price does not come with the hose. It's called our Bare Tool open face because it does have that edge that we talked about in the other video where the open face is. This is normally an upgrade, but you guys have it at a great promotional price. The other thing I want to talk about in this video was I know that a lot of people have vacuums that are out in the market. You know, this isn't a Dewalt video on the Dewalt vacuum, but it's a common knowledge, Mark, that there's a lot of these vacuums that are out in the market. Okay. And the question I get a lot of times is, how do I hook the flex sander up to my Dewalt vacuum that I already own? The answer is, like we talked about in the other video, most of the hoses in the market are reverse thread. So all you do really is reverse thread off that attachment, which would go into your Dewalt vacuum and lock into place, but this will fit onto the flex hose and work fine. That system can work, or you can also the flex adapter. This is something that's an accessory that the store manager can get for you. This will screw on to this vacuum hose as well.
Yep. Reverse threaded on there the same way?
Yeah. Should. There it is.
Yeah, just a little. This one is, and this one goes in, oh, this goes in.
Yeah, see that goes like that. And hey, remember earlier in the other video we talked?
That's
the gray clip.
Yeah, that's the one from
this will work with the drywall sander, this gray clip, but in the owner's manual of every flex sander, you get a red clip. And that red clip just has an extension on this, which makes it easier to get it on and off. Please don't use duct tape.
No.
just ask your store manager. These are like a couple dollars. They're not expensive. If you are missing it, make sure you get one of these clips.
That other one is it's so much easier. Just push it. It's a lot more.
Yeah.
It's bigger. It's a bigger button or tab.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, it's nice that it's versatile. I think the hose size is 1.25 inches standard, is what they call it. Something that's cool that you did in this. I know this is your kind of personal unit. You know, he's taken the hose and taped the extension cord to it. You can do whatever works best for you out on the job site, but there's a lot of different ways, you know, guys manage that.
Like, you know, you get.
This is good and bad.
Yeah.
It's good because it's easy when you're working on the wall, but now when you're cleaning up, you either take the tape off for the day or whatever.
Right. We had some people use the zip ties and things, but some of the safety guys didn't like cords, you know, on the floor.
Yeah.
We say, well, so we kind of camouflaged it with the hose. So, you know, some places they want the cords up or elevated. So I think that was the situation with this, but we've just kind of left it like that. But yeah.
Well, while we got the camera down here, I'll scroll over here. We didn't talk about this, Mark, but this is another accessory that we have. You know, obviously this is one that we've used a lot, but the bottom line, this helps keep this organized. Your Virginia store, I'm trying to remember the manager's name out in Virginia. Armando. Yeah. I was on a job site with him, and a commercial job site, government project. They got 20, I believe, of these packages. They got the sander, the bag, and the hose. Yeah. And the reason they got them was specifically because of the organization of the bag. Because the guys were, you know, they checked them out in the morning time out of the big job trailer, and then at the end of the day, they had spray painted, I think, like a number on the side of it, and you know, they made sure they had 20 sanders at the end of the day, and they were all organized in that job box. You know, and this bag is kind of what made it what it was.
Let me grab that.
You know, while we're down here also, when you buy just the bag, you also have to buy these inserts. These are kind of key to make the bag stay in this position, but it also protects it. I mean, I've flown with this, Ray. I mean, I take this on airplanes, you know, kind of like my golf bag. Everybody says, hey, is that your golf bag? I say, no, that's my wife in the bag. You know, but the bottom line, it does keep it organized. It fits right in here. Another German key point to design, the handle has to go in first.
Okay.
You can't put the head in first. So handle in, and it just falls right into place.
It just sits right in there.
And it just sits right in there. Zip it up and...
You got places here for your sandpaper?
Yeah, you got sandpaper, a few adapters, those types of things. But it just keeps everything well organized. It does have a nice zipper on it, so it's not going to get jammed up, a nice big zipper on it.
Yeah, heavy zipper.
And, you know, it just keeps it organized. And it's not heavy.
No.
You know, it fits right on your shoulder.
golf bag.
You know, the funny thing is, 13 years ago when I started with Flex, I could have swore this was like set up this way. I get to Germany, I'm going to the factory, I'm checking in my hotel. As I'm checking in my hotel, two guys that are working on the renovation of the hotel walk in like this with a Flex sander on their arm, and I'm like, that's got to be set up. They set that up. But it was funny.
I had the same thing, and I lived overseas for a while in London, and I was waiting on the subway, the tube as they call it in London, and I'm waiting. There's thousands of people, you know. I'm waiting and looking, and there's a guy standing down there with a bazooka on his back. It was a tape tech, one of our tape tech models.
Yeah.
And he's standing there with a bazooka on his back, waiting for the train. And of course, I went and talked to him. He was a dry liner, as they call it in London, but drywall finisher.
No, but thanks for logging back on. I just wanted to quickly show you that the inside of that tool, a few of the key features. I call it the oil change of your power tool. It's not hard, and once you're inside of it, and that's another point, is the Flex is well organized on the inside. Sometimes you take a tool apart and then all of a sudden the wires just go like this and you're like, what the heck just happened?
It's all got a place.
Everything has its place. I feel comfortable telling people, you know, you're not going to void your warranty. What you'll void your warranty is if you take it all apart and you don't know how to put it back together.
Right.
Just take that picture, you know, you can work on your carbon brushes, your speed control, your switch, your cord. Those 4 items are basically your wear items on a Flex, and that's basically it.
Other than that, you just use the tool.
Yeah, you can take a little air maybe sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
And blow air through it. If you have an air compressor like you guys have here,
Canned air.
you don't have to take the tool apart. You can just take air and blow it through the vents and just kind of blow that extra dust off the armature and field coil. But it's a simple maintenance, and it's a great tool. And if you haven't tried it out, I would encourage you for the month of April to go to your AMES store and definitely check out the promotion you guys have going on.
Absolutely. Well, Chris, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Thank you for the great presentation.
Time to put our mask on, right?
Oh yeah, we got back. Yeah.
We both have had our
Vaccination.
vaccinations, so we feel comfortable together, and you know, I hope everybody out there, you know, gets in line for that vaccination, and we can all move forward and get back to normal.
Right.
Normal.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So thank you.
Thanks so much. Well, about 45 minutes in Spanish, in Espanol, Ronaldo and Cristobal.
Cristobal. That's what my dad always said.
Presentation. So tune back in for that, and in Espanol, we'll be covering all the great Flex things as well in that. So thanks again. We'll let you go. Look forward to seeing you all again soon on another topic for AMES. And thanks again, Chris.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.